Hey there, I'm Sergeant First Class Allen with the Army Healthcare Recruiting Team here in South Florida. Today we are joined by the 2nd Medical Recruiting Battalion's Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Brad Tibbetts. He's going to be answering some of the more frequently asked questions that we get about what it's like to be a healthcare professional, more specifically a physician's assistant, in the Army. If you have any additional questions or you'd like some more information, please send us a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. Take it away, sir.
Well, my experience as Army PA has been amazing. Getting to serve with the Field Artillery Battalion as the Fires Brigade Surgeon in Korea, to 3rd Brigade of the 101st Pakistans in Afghanistan. I like being with the troops. And I think that that's been probably the most rewarding, is to basically be part of driving readiness in the Army, keeping them fit, because we need fit soldiers and healthy soldiers so the units can accomplish the mission. And lastly, it's the mission focus aspect of being in the Army versus the daily grind of a clinic has been much more rewarding to me. I get asked that question a lot, actually, and it's a great question. I think the biggest one is leadership. You get a lot of leadership opportunities in the Army that you wouldn't necessarily get on the civilian side. For example, being a company commander, being able to lead a couple hundred soldiers during the invasion of Iraq in 2003, definitely a highlight. Being the command surgeon for the Joint Readiness Training Center in Fort Polk is another one where you really have a key role in training and evaluating units to prepare them for the rigors of combat. The other big thing, I think, is that the PAs have a little bit more autonomy in the Army than you'd have on the civilian side. Often your supervising physician is just not around. So they kind of train us to that level to ensure that when bad things happen, there's not a doctor around, that you can still rise to the occasion. I've always appreciated that. The future for Army PAs is bright. So they need us now more than ever. So there's a shortage of physicians, and that's not exclusive only to the Army. But if you combine that with the credibility that the PAs have with the line commanders, it really means we're always going to have a critical place in Army medicine. This is opening up a lot of new opportunities for PAs for specialization, to include emergency medicine and the surgical PAs that are going to help fill critical roles in field units going forward. So again, there's a lot of opportunity in the Army for PAs. First one would be good is I was an officer, so and before I applied to the Inter-Service Physician Assistant Program, go early. So the longer you stay in, the more time and grade you lose. So if I had gone when I first wanted to go, I actually would have lost a lot less time. It's still worth it, though. I never, questioned that decision at all. So next is be flexible. Own your square. So as a good NCO once told me, is the Army's made up of a patchwork of squares, and you just need to own your square and not worry about what's going on in other people's squares. It's just not effective, and it distracts you from what you really need to do. And then lastly, take the opportunities to excel that the Army gives you. So especially if at first you don't want to do it. I would have to say that I've had several successive assignments that when I first got orders, I was like, I don't want to do that. And then I got there, and it was the most amazing thing ever. I learned so much. So the Army's going to challenge everyone, and you just need to embrace it for the challenge that it is, and you'll find it to be extremely rewarding.